Treetop twins, the twins run after a rhino by Cressida Cowell. There are 5 dog beetles in this book. Can you find all of them? The sun beat down on the sizzling savanna as the grass hummed with busy insects. The Treetop family has taken their time machine and traveled not back in time, but far, far away in some African savanna to study something very rare like rhinos. The Treetop family were lying in some grass beside the water hole where the 3 black rhinos' mothers and their babies had come to drink. It's very important that we go get interested in our studies that we forget the black rhinos. It can be dangerous, whispered Professor Palo. They made it get anxious, especially if they think the babies are threatened. And remember, if you charge by a rhino, do not run, just climb a sturdy tree. I'm a bit of a rhino expert. The rhino were rowing in the water hole, covering themselves in mud. Why aren't they doing that? Asked Asha. Rhinos have very sensitive skin, explained Professor Palo. They're using mud as sunscreen and defend themselves from insects. As the penny rhinos played, they made a high-pitched whine of glee. One of the babies started wandering away from its mother. Hey, go back there, watering hole, said the Treetop running after it. He's gonna get lost. Treetop, come back here, said Professor Penelope. You can't help the baby rhino. You always get it further away. The mother rhino lifted her head to see where the baby was going, and she made a low rumbling noise. How interesting, said Professor Palob. I wonder what noise that means. The mother rhino had began walking their direction. Look, her ears are flattening, said Alfie, peering through his binoculars. Her nostrils are flattening, and she's stamping her feet too, added Asha. I wonder why she's doing that. Uh-oh, said Professor Penelope. I think her mother rhino might be anxious about her baby, which means we might about to charge. Sure enough, the rhino began to running towards them at speed quick. Everyone climb up a tree, said Professor Penelope. So Alfie and Asha and Treetop and Ted and Professor Penelope all climbed up the nearest sturdy tree. Only Professor Palo stayed on the ground. He might have been a little bit of a rhino expert, but he was so interested in studying rhinos, he forgot that it could be dangerous. How fascinating! That rhino must have charging around the 55 kilometers per hour. That's twice as fast as a human sprinter. Dad! The twins all shouted at him. Luckily, just in time, Professor Palo remembered his own excellent advice and scrambled up into the nearest tree. The mother rhino charged right underneath the trees that were Treetop twins had climbed. The other rhino charged with her. Together they made a terrible racket. Now I know where they are, called a crash of rhinos, whispered to Alfie to Asha. They all laughed together, and they did it very, very quietly. Those rhinos didn't mean any harm, said Professor Penelope. They meant they were just worrying about the baby. But just to be sure, the Treetop family has stayed in safety of the tree branches until the rhinos had completely disappeared before going home for dinner. Nighttime, the African savanna, in the darkness, the giraffes stretched out their long necks to reach the sweetest and most tender leaves on the tree. Professor Penelope and Professor Penelope were getting dinner ready. Ted was making the most extraordinary noises, high-pitched whine, while jumping and down and pointing at his mouth. Wee-wee! Cried Ted. Professor Penelope came charging over. Are you all right? Ted shouted. Professor Penelope, anxious, he's speaking to in a rhino language, explained Treetop, and that means he's very hungry. Oh, thank goodness, said Professor Penelope in his real laugh. I thought you were being attacked by something. You see, even human mothers can charge when they're anxious about their babies. And just facts about black rhinos. Black rhinos can run twice as fast as a human sprinter. They are very sensitive to wind, and they use mud as sunscreen. They are herbivores. They eat mostly leafy plants, branches, and bushes, well as fruits.